Hi, I'm Kyle.
I'm Josh.
This is Two Guys, One Car.
Welcome to our car.
Dude, it starts with Two Guys, One Car. That's the name. It should start
It's
with
welcome
the
to our car.
name. No, but it has to start with Two Guys, One Car because that's the name of the thing.
Just get in the back seat.
Right along with us.
They have like
Americano.
American, but they're filtered coffee. As in, they just have a filter pad pour ground coffee.
Kind of good.
Yeah.
That's good, but long
Have you
black
been to
seed.
America?
Yeah, I got back from Hawaii 3 days ago. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
what the hell?
Was that for work?
Nah, family trip, dude.
I see.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna bring any cameras, but I was like, no. I'll bring a camera just to like take some nice.
What's the carry if you're going on like a family trip? What sort of like gear are you taking to that? Because you obviously probably don't take the whole 9 yards, but
Just one camera, one lens.
Yeah.
Yeah, 28 to 70,
Okay, cool.
and the
Yeah.
R5.
wait, so 28 to 70, is that like closer? No, that's
28's like semi-wide,
Yeah.
and then 70 is like semi-close.
It's a good like universal lens.
so when we were talking about it with, was it Matt?
Yeah.
About like the 70 to
No, Emmanuel, 70 to 200. So this guy we had on the pod, he's traveling the world basically, just 21 years old, just left home. He's traveling, and he is a photographer, videographer, and he wanted to challenge himself, so he only took a 70 to 200, and he brought like his dad has some old DSLR, and he had like a really nice Sony, and he wanted to challenge himself, so he sold the Sony and just borrowed his dad's. I think it's like a Canon. I forget what camera, but like he said, it's pretty average.
Yeah, right. Like a what's it called? Entry level.
Yeah, basically. And he said it's been so great traveling with a 70 to 200 because he's just challenged everywhere he goes trying to get these shots.
It'd be so sick, but fuck, that's a heavy.
he was talking about how he's like, it's so hard for him, like he'll see a shot that he wants and then he like goes to take it and then he's like, oh, I need to go all the way back or
But
something.
what you can do though, you can like stitch photos together.
True.
That's what I'd fuck. That's right. Because when I went to Pi, I shot Pi.
Pipeline
Yeah, Pi.
in Hawaii. How was that?
It wasn't that. It was sick. Like it was big
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
but like for the pros, like
They're just like,
yeah, it's like child's play. Like a playground. Yeah.
damn.
Far out.
But like I shot Pi, and I had the 70 to 200. You know the grey one. But then I had a 2x extender on it,
Yeah, okay.
so it was 140 to 400.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I couldn't shoot anything else except the waves. So then I had to like stitch a couple photos together to get like a.
Yeah.
Oh, full shot.
Yeah, so how did you get into photography?
Oh, dude, I don't know. Actually, I did photography at school, PDM, photographic digital media, and then that was kind of cool.
Like as a subject.
Yeah.
How old were you then? Like year 10, year 11, year 12?
Year 9, mate.
Oh, cool. Oh, so like literally when you're starting to form like your own interests, like 14, 15.
Because I didn't want to do photo. I was talking to my parents, and I was like, oh fuck, I don't know if I want to do it, because my older brother did PDM,
Oh, okay.
and it seemed pretty cool. And then I was like, oh, I'll give it a go. And then it was just fun. Like, it was pretty sick. And then I don't know, I started taking photos, and then people liked them. That's it.
So it starts off with obviously at school. At what point do you go like, oh, I want to do this as like my own thing?
Well, I didn't realize you could make
Money.
in it.
Yeah, okay.
So it was a hobby initially?
Dude, I just took photos of my dog and stuff, like, and then I went like to the beach and got surfing photos, and then and I don't know, like maybe after a year or two, and then people like asked you.
So it's like 16, 17.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I think they call it professional. As soon as you get paid, when you get your first amount of money. So I guess I've been pro since 16.
And then what were your first jobs, like parties and stuff?
Party photos, dude. Yeah, that was it. Like, you know, like 5 years ago, every party had a photographer.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so that was me. Like,
They were the cool guys though. Like that was the guy who was there like not to party, just like he was clocking on, and I respect it.
And he always knew someone at every party.
I hate it. Like, it was tough because like everyone's having a good time and you're sober driving. Actually, my mum used to drop me off at parties because I was still on my L's. So she'd drop me off at parties and with the camera, and I'd like call her to pick me up.
That's sick.
Dude, to be like as someone like for me and definitely Josh as well, like I respect that hard. Like everyone was just like having fun and stuff, and you're like nah.
But at the time, like I think at the time when you're like year 9, 10, you're like what, 16?
Yeah.
And you're making 20 bucks an hour, and then you shoot a party at $40 an hour, and you're like, fuck, this is such.
And the party goes till 1.
Yeah, like
You're like, yes.
like so you could do one night and make what I would have made for like a whole week, like a whole weekend. And I thought like it was the best thing in the world. Like it still like it blew my mind. That was probably like the best money I've made, I reckon.
Yeah, that's sick. And where were you at with the editing and the delivery side? I guess now looking back, you would be like, oh, I could just like chuck a preset on, send it off to them. But in the moment, were you like, I need to make all these photos the best they can possibly be?
Tough, like, yeah, I think I'm very picky because like it's got my name on it, so like I want it to be like what I like I'm proud of it.
Especially if your branding is just like back then, maybe it was just your name or something.
Yeah. Like, and especially because my company's my name, like.
Yeah.
There's no room to fuck up.
Yeah.
You know, but can I swear on this? Is that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, go hard. Yeah, it's fine.
I don't know. Like I want to be proud of the shit I put out.
Where did that kind of work ethic come from? Do you?
Oh, my parents, dude. They're ridiculous. Like.
So they do. You mentioned to us earlier when we were doing the RC, they do triathlons. Do they do? Is that like work? Like is that?
No. They work their own jobs.
Yeah.
So dad's a builder and my mum likes paperwork. I was like, it's hectic. She likes paperwork. Which I'm like,
that's wild.
Great for me because then she can help me out with like tax and all that stuff.
Exactly.
But they just work so hard. Like my dad, I think he's out of the house by 6 and gets home at 8.
Wow.
Yeah, for like every day of my life.
Whoa.
Yeah, but he likes it, so it's like if you
love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
Facts, dude.
How was that for you growing up though, in terms of?
Well, it makes me feel guilty if I'm not working, because like it's a Saturday and dad's mowing the lawn and mum's whippersnipping, and like, so if I'm not doing something productive, then I'm just wasting the day. And then I just feel guilty about it, you know. So like I don't know.
That's a sick environment to be a part of.
Dude, I'm so spoiled for that, hey. But
Do you find that you can't enjoy time off now because that's?
Yeah, like time off's good. Like what's it? I had COVID like a couple of weeks ago. So I had a week off, and the first 2 days were sick, and after that it was actually like shit.
Yeah.
Like you're at home, you're like, I got nothing to do. Like I was asking like, does anyone want me to edit anything for you? Like, can you do something? Because then you just feel guilty. Like I can't. Yeah.
What do you think the guilt is? Is it I am wasting like my life and time that I have, or is it purely just this is the environment I grew up in and I'm conditioned to think that if I'm not working, I'm not like making good use?
Yeah, literally. Like I could be doing something productive. Like even if it's not making money, like something productive, you know.
That's cool that it's not just anchored to something that's like financially.
Yeah, like it doesn't have to be money, like just something, you know. Like go for it.
Whether it be health or something.
Yeah, go for a run, go to a fucking ice bath or something.
Yeah. Well, it shows in your like attitude towards the ice bath.
Dude, I was that close to getting out, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But you got it done.
I wish we got that in film and we could put that in there. That was so fun.
You entered the piece.
You went like up, like it was like you went up, like you were gonna get out.
Yeah,
But what I like is that it wasn't a reaction of just get out. You were fighting that desire in your body to get out. All of your body was saying, get out of the ice bath, Kyle. But part of you was like, no, don't do it. So there was a resistance, and then you just kept going, entered the piece, and
I don't know if I could do a 0, but we'll give it a go.
No, you could. After that.
You can and will.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was hectic. That was... Yeah, I want to get one now, eh? Like, that was cool.
Yeah.
That was...
Easy, it's like once you get if you get a pump and a filter and stuff, it's actually quite easy to maintain.
Yeah.
It's just like owning a mini pool and just maintaining that.
I actually rate it. It was cool.
Yeah, so with your, have you done any sport? Like obviously if you've grown up.
Yeah, like, dude, I need to do more sport. Like, I've just got into running. Running's good. Cool. Just because it's tough, like if you're sitting behind a computer for 9 hours a day, like
yeah, it's a grind.
It's like it's so easy to put on weight, and I want to be as healthy as I can. So I've been into running, but like in school, like soccer and basketball and all that shit, like all that.
Something you did.
Yeah, like.
Do you have a standing desk, or what's your?
No, I don't like standing desks, dude. I don't know why. It wigs me out. I haven't properly given it a go, but like. I don't know. I like swinging on the chairs and stuff. I like all that stuff. And like, yeah. I don't know, like, yeah, I have a sitting, but I'm always like, I drink heaps of water when I'm editing. Nice. So I'm going to the toilet every 30 minutes anyway.
Yeah, okay, so getting up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like you could improve your work environment at all to make it a more healthy environment?
I don't know. I got an office with 2 other photographers, with Alex Marks and Jason Corrado, and they're super good. But I don't know, like, it's in Newport. Okay. 7 Robinson Road, if you want to come through. I don't know, like, I don't know. I think those, because they're a bit older. I think they're 30 and 40.
Okay.
Those two guys, so they've kind of got like what works for them, and then I've just kind of molded, and it works for me. So
And do you think you built a lot of the environment based off them?
yeah, I've been with them for a year, and yeah, they're sick. They're good.
What's it like for you to be around, I guess,
Like a
older,
mentor?
mentors in the industry?
The best thing ever. Like, I think if anyone wants to do it, like I'm no preacher or anything. I'm no David Goggins, but get a mentor legit. Like you're like, I don't know, like I remember my dad was saying like there's a lot of like all the uni professors and stuff like that. They're like rich accountant millionaires and they got nothing else to do with the time, so they just want to teach. So like you'd get a mentor for free if you want.
Yeah, because people are actually
Dude, for sure. And you're getting 60 years of like what's it called? Yeah, wisdom and failure and like learning.
Yeah, you don't need to, like the blueprint. You're getting a blueprint. You don't have to go out with the shovel and figure it out for yourself. They've carved a path for you. And then you can take that path further. Once you get to where they got to, you get the shovel off them and you keep digging.
And just add your own spice to it and do it your way. Like, legit, like they helped me with emails and how to like reply to people and like even delivering stuff. Like,
Just everything. With
all the little things that it's like that takes time and reps.
like I finished uni like in October.
Oh, congrats, man. What did you study?
Shit, anyway, fuck whatever. Business degree. I did a business degree. It's whatever.
How come?
I did it before. It was like a backup for photos. I did it as a
Interesting.
backup. Yeah, but then I'm fortunate enough to do photos full time.
Did you think you were going to fail at photos?
I didn't think I'd fail, but I was like, oh, in case I do, like it'd be the smart thing to do.
Now, now that you've done it, how would you reflect on that time?
I wish I spent the 50k in camera gear. That's what I reckon.
Yeah, right.
That's what like
At least you're honest with that.
I got a 50k hex debt and like, I don't know, like I think chuck it on red or something. You'd be better off doing that. Like unless you want to be an accountant or like you want to be a
something that
physiotherapist.
requires you.
Yeah, but like
This seems to be the general conversation we're having with everyone. Like Jason, who we were talking about, who we had on the pod, he said the exact same thing with uni.
dude, I've been there. Like it's not that good.
Yeah.
And like
In my mind, if you have to go there, if what you want to do with your life requires uni degree, do it.
100%. Like if you need the paper, like
Go for it.
to be a physio, like you
need
should
the
be
paper.
trained
Yeah,
because it's for someone's body.
Yeah, but it's also like what you're actually going to do. That's the highest form of education you could get in that field. So go do it.
yeah.
And I think like a lot of people try and justify, like how you were saying, it's really cool that you're honest with it because you finished it, done it, and you're not trying to justify yourself doing that
No.
degree. You're just like, look,
Dude, I learnt more with Alex and Jason in like 2 weeks than 3 years at uni.
Yeah, and then, like-
and that's just honest. Like, I can't think of anything I learned at uni. Actually, no, I learnt one thing at uni, and it was first year, second class, and it's just a quote in the quotes. Oh, it's like, if you don't buy a 1/4 inch drill from Bunnings, you buy a 1/4 inch hole. Yeah.
I don't get that.
You don't. So you're not buying the drill. You're buying the outcome of the drill.
Yeah.
You're buying the hole. So you're not paying a photographer just for like the service. You're paying for the service and the photos.
Yes,
And like you're not buying a builder, like you're buying the house.
that makes sense. Yeah, 'cause
So
you're,
it's like,
obviously you're thinking
yeah,
about
and
the
that's
outcome.
when I was like, oh fuck, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I
From
learned.
4 years
$50,000 quote. There you go for free.
Yeah.
Do you think you would encourage someone else to have a backup plan?
Yeah, I reckon. I'm not gonna like. You know, there's always the people on Instagram like, follow your dreams.
Yeah.
Like you got to be smart about it. Like, like the world's not a fucking rainbow and sunshine. So,
100%,
like
'cause-
you gotta like be smart about it. Like it's not like don't go to uni and study for 10 years if you want to be a photographer, but like
Have some other
Also-
interest in case
Yeah.
in case you can't do your job. I think so many people. I've always been someone that has more so been like, I don't have a backup plan
be
because
realistic.
I just want to focus on what I'm focusing
yeah.
on. But it's also the case of you generally only hear don't have a backup plan from the successful people because the people without
'Cause
the
they didn't
success,
move on.
they don't have the platform to tell you not to they don't have the platform to tell you to have a backup plan because they're not successful and they're grinding away working in 9 to 5.
I think just be realistic with yourself. Like
That's a good point. If anything, it's not like I don't think it's as binary as it seems, like have one or don't. I think it's just more like be in touch with like and understand with where you're at.
Yeah, and if you're being legit with yourself and you are willing to like put in the hours, because if you're not, there's someone else that is.
100%.
Like,
That's it.
then maybe you don't need a backup plan because you believe in yourself and you're willing to put your head down. But
Yeah, maybe you're a slow burner. It's like, it kind of depends who you are and what your other responsibilities are as well.
And even if you are willing to put in the hours, there's always someone willing to put in one more.
and get 1 hour less of sleep and like, dude, 100%.
I always think about that. Anytime I'm doing anything, it's always like that guy across the world is doing one more than me. And it keeps you hungry, because the second you like think you're at the top of the mountain and you become complacent, that's when you fall behind.
Yeah. And like, yeah, I always think about that. Like, just sit behind the computer for another hour, mate.
And get it done.
Fucking hell. Just get it done.
Do you find you go through, like when you're editing photos, that it's emotion based? Like when you are happy, you're loving it,
Oh, for sure.
and the photos are better, and do you feel like when it becomes a bit more of a discipline, your photos aren't as good?
Yeah, like during COVID, like, yeah, I felt so sad and lonely. And you can literally scroll down an Insta and everything's dark and shit. Like, that sounds so cringe and cliche,
No.
but like, true. 100% true. Like, I don't know, but I'm not like, I hate the word creative. I really don't like that. Like, I just think I'll take photos like whatever. Like, I just do whatever I reckon's cool. But like, yeah, like it's, like it does come out through the, like artists and stuff, like it just comes out. But like for photos, it's more mechanical. But like, it's definitely like,
It shows through like some soul. There's some essence of soul, and that does actually.
see the emotion through it. Wow, it sounds cringe.
No, dude, no, it's awesome, because at the end of the day, it's an art. Like, it is an art, 110%.
Because I just talk to the boys about it, and it's like, I just take photos. I don't know. I don't think I'm better than anyone else. I think there's heaps of people better than me. But like, if you can talk to people, like, it's actually, I always like, if you're at a photo shoot or a wedding, I reckon it's 90% interaction, 10% photo.
Wow.
100%. Maybe even more, maybe 95. Wow. Yeah.
Interesting.
Sick. Because like, if a girl's in a bikini and she's like the most vulnerable she's going to be, then some fucking weirdo pointy is coming like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like, the photos are going to be shit. Like, you can be the best photographer, but she's not going to be comfortable, so the photos are going to be shit.
So it's like you've got to make her comfortable.
That's true. And even if you could produce good photos, say it was at a wedding or something, and you had a really good product, but their interaction with you is terrible, and 100% of the day is you interacting with them. Yeah. And then the photos are the 1 or 2% that they get at the end. They're probably gonna remember more so like how you were, and base the photos upon their interaction with you and their feelings towards you.
Well, the photographer and videographer, like myself and Sam, we're the only ones with them all day. Like, florists are there in the morning, bands are in the arvo, celebrants just the middle. Like, we're the whole 13 hours. So
That's a long day.
if you're like a goober and you're awkward, would you want to spend 13 hours with someone awkward?
Where did you learn those people skills?
Dude, cafe. Work at a cafe, 100%.
At a young age?
Yeah, like I worked at, do you remember like those trampoline parks?
Yeah.
I used to work there.
Like flip out and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
15 or something.
Sick.
Yeah. and then I got a job at a cafe when I was like 16.
And just through there, being forced to have conversation.
Yeah, dude, you're talking to people all day. Like, yeah.
And you always have like, what's great about like interacting in retail when you're young is that
Retail as well, like, because some people are brutal. Like, you get yelled at.
what's great
Experience it.
is that there's such a volume and like there's such a quantity of people that you talk to, because there's like, in a day, if you've got, you're interacting with like, you've got 8 hours, you have 2-minute interactions. How many 2-minute interactions do you have in 8 hours? So you have just a range of like different examples you can pull from. Like you're saying, some people are brutal, some people are lovely. And then you just have this scale of like how to deal with certain people.
And you learn to like, reply and mold interaction around the vibe you're getting off.
You learn to like form and shape yourself to what is going to suit that customer best. And you're not corrupting yourself, like you're staying true to your values, but
You stay in control.
you stay in control and you can just manage.
It's making them comfortable.
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah. I can so see how that would translate to a shoot.
Yeah, like if someone comes to a photo shoot and they're like vibes are super low, I'm not going to be like so energized because then that's just going to throw them off. So you have to kind of warm up with them. I don't know. Like I think
So a lot of it is just people skills.
like 90% of it.
Yeah. So you like on the bikini thing, you do a lot of portraits. That's mainly.
Yeah.
What you like
I
to do?
started a lot. I started with surf, and then I really got into like model photos and fashion and stuff and studio e-com, all that, and that's fun. But then now like I still do a lot of fashion, but I'm super into weddings. Weddings are fun.
Yeah.
Everyone's happy. Get to drink beers. It's
How did you get into the fashion side of things? Because the transition, like surfing, makes sense because you grew up here. And did you grow up here? Sorry.
I grew up. Well, I lived in Dubai for 5 years.
Oh.
Whoa.
What age?
Yeah. 2007 to 2012. So I was 7 to 12.
Damn, that's a pretty like pivotal time in your life.
Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, it was sick.
Were you over there for your parents' work?
Dad got a job over there. Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
What was that like, dude?
It's not like the movies. Like there's no Ferraris and Lambos everywhere. I remember when Fast and Furious came out, all my mates would like, like all the chicks in like bikinis everywhere. It's not like that. Like, cause my parents do triathlons. Like my mum would have to run in an all sleeve, like no skin showing. Yeah, you can't run in singlets and stuff. Wow. I think.
And it's hot over there.
Yeah, it's like 40 degrees every day.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, but I think after COVID, the UAE's kind of loosened it a bit to encourage tourists to come over and expats to come over. But
Are you an only child?
no, I got 2 brothers.
Okay, so they were over there as well.
Yeah, I'm the middle. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Damn.
What do you remember from that point in your life?
I remember it all. I think I remember like I miss Australia's the best place in the world.
Yeah.
100%.
That's cool I love that. I am envious, but I shouldn't be, of people who have had experience outside of Australia and come back, because then it really makes you understand. There's just so many things that you can look at and be like, we're best here, second best here. It's just like...
It's like, Australia is the best.
Yeah.
Like you go like in Bali, like you can't, not necessarily Bali, but like overseas, you can't trust the police all the time. Here you can. I'd hope you can trust the police here. I don't know.
More than...
Yeah, and like healthcare and stuff here, they're like it's
so
not
good.
funny.
Just
People, like-
all the systems here work so well. Like one of our mates lived in Vietnam for 2 years and he's traveled to over 40 countries. And he literally said like the northern beaches, Sydney, Australia, it's the greatest place on earth to live. And we were just born into it. And it's weird because I know no different. Like I've traveled a little bit here and there, not as like I would definitely want to do more. But it's crazy how this is your baseline. And part of it is scary because you go somewhere else and it takes a strong mindset to really be able to like appreciate what you have and not get to something else and be saddened by the like lesser quality of life or whatever it might be. But I think so many people fall into that where you grow up on the northern beaches, really nice like location, whatever it is, and then it can only go downhill from there in the sense of the luxuries you have. And a lot of people attach their mindset, their happiness to like what they have in the physical world.
100%.
And it's inevitable that they fall downhill, which is so sad.
But if you do go over and come back, you appreciate it heaps. Like
Even at like a young age for you, because you came back, you said 2012 you would have been 12.
Yep, like Dubai was sick. Don't get me wrong. It was sick.
yeah.
And like, cause Dubai is the center of the world, so you can travel. Like
That's
like
right.
for us to go to like the closest country other than New Zealand is like 6 or 7 hours. In Dubai, dude, you can fly to like Europe 3 hours. Boom,
That's
done.
great.
And obviously it's more affordable.
Yeah.
So it's sick.
Did your parents grow up here?
My parents grew up out west. Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah. So they went northern beaches, born and bred. Like
Like I am generalizing, but like I think my parents were the same. They grew up like my mum in Cairns, my dad from New Zealand. I can really tell like through my growing up that like made a big impact. The fact that they didn't grow up
and they make
with
sure
this.
that I know like
Yes.
how fucking lucky I
Yes,
am. Yeah,
me
100%.
Yeah. Because like obviously New Zealand very different, and then Cairns like city, but obviously a lot smaller, a lot more farmy. So it was kind of like
Good, like it,
That is-
it make
they make you appreciate the beach. Like the fact that we have just so many beaches is not like
And
we
not
can
just-
never fully
not
get
just
it.
Some beaches.
Beaches in the world, and they're always going off. Like it's just how.
How exciting.
But if you, the fact that like the decisions I make is like, oh, I don't really want to go to that beach, like, haven't been to this one for a while. Like it's like, oh, you know, there might be too many people there.
Manly's too busy.
Yeah.
And even the thought of like, oh, I don't want to drive 15 more minutes to go to this beach. Sack that.
Yeah.
Like, how many people would kill for that opportunity?
People drive hours to go to the beach. Like even people from like in Sydney drive hours.
Well, my dad used to drive hours when he was.
And what's so sad is I fall into the mindset when it's a hot summer's day and I pull out of Terry Hills, see the line going down to like Mona Vale of cars, and I'm just like, dude, that is not worth it. I would not drive 2 hours to go to the beach and like drive back. Like that's just not worth it, which is so sad that I'm at a point where I just don't appreciate the beach as much as I should, because all these people appreciate it way more than I do.
What do you think you'd be like without that time that you spent in Dubai? Like, what did you take from that?
I don't know. I always think about it. I don't know.
Because, like, obviously coming back, you would have gone straight into high school from coming back. Hey?
Yeah, so we came back because I'm the middle. My parents really wanted us to have like the Australian high school, so you not just get chucked into the deep end. So yeah, I came back year 6, so I could go.
Yeah, you almost had the perfect transition. Your older brother would have been in high school already.
Yeah, so I think he started year 8, and my little brother started year 4.
Yeah, you probably had the best one.
18 months. Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, it was great. Like, because you can
Just naturally flow in.
ease into it. That was sick.
Yeah, so on the photography side, so the portraits, where did they come in?
I don't know. Like, I just started taking photos with my mates, and then I just post on Insta, and then companies would like the pics and then send me. It started, you get sent stuff for free, and then it's like, I remember that blew my mind. The first thing I got for free, I think it was a watch, and I don't really, at the time I didn't really care about watches, and I was like, oh sick, free watch, cool. And I took photos of that, and then I did that, posted that, and then they liked the photos, and then I could now add that to my portfolio. And then I did a couple other things, and then I messaged TCSS, you know, the Critical Slide Society, the surf brand.
No.
Oh no, okay, yeah.
I get like the triangle.
Yeah, I know the logo. Yeah.
Would I know it if I saw it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're sick. And then I shot for them, and that was like the first big opportunity that I had. Like looking at the photos now, I'm like, oh, you fucking idiot. But like that was the first time like I could shoot for a brand that was sick, and then that looked good. It's just like, who's willing to give you the opportunity? That's all it is. And like if someone takes a little bit of risk and then it pays off, and you keep kind of building.
And I think the first person that has to give you the opportunity is yourself. Like you need to put yourself in a position to make it happen.
Seek that. Yeah, you need to give yourself a set of keys so you can go open doors.
What were you doing? Were you messaging, outreaching to companies?
So like back to when you're like really grinding, because that's when you're the hungriest, when you like really want to make it. Like I found a Google Chrome plugin called Hunter. If anyone listening want to do it, you can do it. It's still there, Hunter, and then it will search websites and then find email addresses.
That's so
So then you find the marketing person, and then you then go into your email and copy and paste a template. Hey, what's up, fucking Nike? Like, I really love your product. I think, my vibe of photos suits your Instagram, blah, blah, blah. And then, so I did that for like so many companies. And then none of them got back, and one gets back, and then boom, you're on.
Yeah, so it's like, people can get so disheartened. Yeah, you got to know why you're there. Like you really need to know that I want to be doing this, because you know you could have 1,000 people say no, but all it takes is one. And then you open that door, then they know that's a parent company to somewhere else, and then that puts you on to the next contact.
And you need to know the odds are you're probably going to get 1,000 no's before one.
Oh, dude, like not even no. You don't get any replies, and that's the worst.
Get the cold shoulder.
Oh, it's the worst, But yeah, like you just work your way up. Like I think it's the same for everything. Like you have to. Like there's some jobs that no one wants to do, and if you're willing to do them, make a bit of money, upgrade.
Why do you think people don't make it in that field?
I don't even think I've made it yet. Like I don't know. Like,
What do you think made it is?
I don't know. I know Dave. You know Dave Chappelle, the comedian.
Yeah.
I think he said something like, I think his dad said like, what number do you reckon's good? And then like anything above that. Like,
as in dollars?
Yeah, what income amount is good. And he said something like as soon as you reach that amount, you're good. You're good. Yeah. So like he established the amount before.
So do you think you put it down to a monetary value?
I don't know, like I don't want to, but also I don't want to sell out. That's like what I'm really big on. I don't want to like do the whole like TikTok. You know, like those videos, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know, like I think, I don't know. Wait, what was the question again?
No, it was like what has made it for you?
Oh, what has made it? I don't know. Just like being able to... Actually, I really want to take my parents out to dinner. I think that'd be sick. And be like, don't worry.
Hell
Yeah.
Fucking
That's cool.
Adidas is paying for this one.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
That's so
Dude,
cool.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm the same with that. Like,
I think that's cool, but I don't know, like if you can just like do whatever you want. Like like for me, I reckon it's so sick that I can wake up whenever I want.
so do you feel like you've already made it?
Nah.
Do you feel like then you'll ever make it?
I don't know.
There you go. So maybe it's like your metric.
I don't know. Like I just want to have fun. Like I don't.
Which is in itself, that's great. Because like, why do you need to know?
I haven't worked at all. Like I get to talk to nice people every day. Like brides, grooms, and everyone's always happy. Like, what a dream. And you get to have like a couple drinks with everyone. Everyone's happy.
Do you get free food as well at the weddings?
Best food, dude.
Oh,
That's like the best. That's the second best part.
Yeah.
Bro, that would be number one.
Yeah,
for me.
number one.
It's just the feeds. Just give me like long day, 4-hour shoot already so far, and then it's like the food comes out and be like, yes.
But yeah, and fashion shoots as well. Like yeah, everyone's happy.
Because it's just fun. It's a lot of art, a lot of love, a lot of expression. It's not.
It's almost like getting to be around that environment all the time.
As soon as you make it really, really professional, then it's like
Oh, that is... And people don't
everyone's
want that.
breathing down your shoulder, and you're like breathing down the makeup person's neck, and like that just put like no one wants.
And I feel like the customers don't want it to be, especially at weddings. You don't want it to be this real tight, professional, rigid, structured thing. Like it's like for most people, it's the best or one of the happiest days of their life.
Yeah, like the biggest campaign I shot, the brand's just like, "Do whatever you reckon sick."
Nice.
And I was like, then I'm like editing the photos like shit, like
They just said go for it.
yeah, like I'm having a bit of fun with it, and then like yeah, the best photos I'm proud of them the most because I'm happy with them. That's
So going off that, maybe the question I could reframe it to is, why do you think some people get to the point where they stop chasing the dream of being a photographer?
I think I'm so fortunate that I don't like financially because I started when I was like 14, 15. I had no responsibility. I still don't have any responsibility. Like I don't have a mortgage over my head. Like I can not work for 2 months and still be financially okay. Because I just, if I can pay my phone bill,
Then you're
I'm cool.
sweet.
Pay for petrol, I'm cool. But like I think a lot of people, like if you do wait, because I don't know people's circumstances, like you might have to work when you're like 16 to be able to put food on the table for your family. Like I don't know. I was so fortunate that I didn't have to worry about that. Yeah, like if you do push it off to your 30, then you have kids to look after. It's like if you're going to be realistic with it, like it's a lot of risk, dude. Like
It's huge. And it's as you progress along like life in terms of age, it's only going to be more and more risky for you. You're only taking more and more risk.
100%.
do all the jobs that no one wants to do, get a bit of money, upgrade your gear. And I think that's for everything. Like take the risk while you're young, dude. Like you see all like the Instagram videos, it's like 20 should just be experimenting. Have a bit of fun with it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not like I'm not David Goggins.
It's more like
It makes
don't
the most
think
sense.
don't think of it in terms of like you're just a step ahead of someone that you don't know. There might be someone who
And there's another person a step ahead of me, without a doubt.
You're all learning off them.
there's always a scale of like there's someone ahead of you and there's always someone below you. It's like you're not just the all-seeing conventional wisdom, but it's like you've stepped 2 more steps along a path that someone else hasn't yet.
Like for someone listening out there that wants to do photography, like they might never have thought of outreaching to companies. They might thought, oh, like someone will come to me. But since you saying I did a lot of outreach, now they're like, oh damn, I need to outreach. So
Like I used to go on Instagram hashtags and just fucking like 1,000
Yeah.
every day, just so people see me come up.
Thumb day, dude. Just
Spraying the thumb,
Yeah.
like and I think it's all that stuff. Like you have to do it.
and it's I think you're very humble, clearly.
Oh, I don't know. I just feel like no one owes anyone anything.
Yeah.
If you want to get out, just do it.
100%. But you need to understand like you have the ability to teach people. Like you have more knowledge than somebody else in the space. and which
is funny. Yeah, you probably don't really think about it because you're like, yeah, it's obviously you can still be a student.
Yeah, you'll always be a student. Clearly, that's your mindset. But you have the ability to help someone, and it's not your obligation. But never feel that you can't say what helped you.
Yeah, well, people help me. So, like, if anyone wants to know anything, I'll fucking ask me. I don't care. Like, I thought someone said, I forgot what it is, but like, someone goes like, copy like an artist. Have you heard that before?
No.
Like, take people's ideas, but then add your own spice to it. So, like I always get people asking me, like, what gear, what time of the day did you shoot? Which is when's the best lighting to shoot? And I don't think I know the correct answers, but I'll tell you what I reckon. Like, what works for me, and like how to edit. Like, just YouTube it. Like, I can tell you how I edit, but I don't even know myself. Like, what the fucking best thing to do is, like, I just do whatever's cool. Like, I don't know. And if someone likes it, like, because that's what people buy your style. Like, if you're an artist, they buy your style.
It's crazy. We're so set on like there being like a one answer when it's like, it's so obvious that there's not one answer. This is in terms of everything.
Like, if you guys look at your podcast in like 2 years' time, it's going to be so different to now.
Oh yeah.
Everything changes. Like, you buy the style at the time. Like, my style 2 years ago.
I'm so stoked it's better now.
But what's important is that you have your style and stick to it. I think so many people corrupt themselves to try and fit in with a certain style that's trending, or fit in with a certain style that they think other people will like more. And like, people can see what's authentic and what's not. And it's always, in my mind, it's always the people that are authentic and genuine that truly make it and have great success. Like, we had an artist on, like a painter, John Dinan, and he's always just stuck to himself. He's had a lot of like galleries approach him, and he could be in a lot of galleries, but they wanted him to change the way he paints and the way he does things, and he would absolutely refuse to, because he paints for himself and he's true to himself, and that's why he's such a well-known, like, successful artist, because he stayed true to him. And I think you saying that, you know, people come to you for your style, it's so important. And I just think never lose that. Never lose your style.
I get sucked into it. I'm like, oh, that guy's sick. Like, I kind of want to do that. And then, like, you're like, oh, well, like, if I think it's cool, I'll do it. But then, like, you can't just copy someone, because if Nike wants photos, they're going to go to this guy. Why would he go to the Wish version of, you know what I mean? Like, you go to the person, so you have to, But I get that. Like, I think Kurt Cobain's the coolest person ever.
Yeah.
And that goes back to what you were saying, like you're talking about how, like, do whatever you think's cool. Do what you want to do. Like, you're not going to let someone like I don't know if you go on YouTube, there's like a video of like Nirvana, and they're on MTV, and MTV wanted them to lip sync. Have you seen that video?
No.
So fucking sick, dude.
Yeah.
So MTV wants them to lip sync, and then so they're like, I think it Smells Like Teen Spirit is just playing over the thing, and then they all just not even playing the guitar and shit, and like the thing's playing, and then Kurt Cobain's like singing opera, like, it's so cool. It's just like, well, what the fuck's the point? Like, that's like my favorite video.
Like
So sick.
Yeah, and they're like doing this, and like the drummer's like fucking just like doing random stuff. It's so cool. But yeah, like, I reckon that's it. Like, yeah, like, do it. Yeah, like,
Obviously,
you can't. It's like it's selling out. You can't.
100%.
That's what I'm very big on. I don't want to sell out, and I don't want to like.
taking influence for what influence is. Like, like influence, not copying someone. Like, you can be influenced by something, which is fine, because if you try and neglect influence, that's not true.
And don't get me wrong, like, if you guys want headshots in a studio, you let me know what you want. You know what I mean? I'll still deliver what you guys want, but like, I can't like.
But it's a creative sort of like conversation. Yeah, it's like, as in like, this is sort of what we see it as. You see it as this.
And I think from the customer, there needs to be trust in that this is your profession, your craft. We trust you to be able to.
And that's why you pay me or whoever else.
Because you're paying for that craft. You're not paying for the photo. Yeah. It's almost like you're paying for that person to put their spice. It's like,
I was talking to Sam Harvey. I don't know if I don't know how he's like structured his company and stuff, but like early on a few years ago, he was saying how he had like Sam Harvey Media and then Harvey Creative. And he said for him, Harvey Creative is more the professional, like, you come and like you tell us what you want and we deliver that.
Yeah,
but Sam Harvey Media is you come to me because you want my style and my creative.
You pay for the you pay
And you
for
pay
Sam.
100%. And I think it's so sick that people have that. And it's as the customer, you need to be able to trust in the craftsman to deliver what they're doing because it's their craft. Like, how can I tell you how to take a headshot when who the hell am I?
It's so free market based. It's so great that there's not a standardized way. I love that it's so interpretive and
like at a wedding, I'm not doing the swoop photo. Like, I don't like the swoop. It's so cheesy. I don't like it. And like, if you like it, I'm not judging. I can do whatever you want. But you get a photographer that is on the same page as you. You know what I mean? And like, I think my clients, my brides and grooms and companies and brands and stuff, they are relaxed and like candid and natural and not fake and not saturation $200. Like, you know what I mean? 200 saturation, everything's like so much color everywhere, it's like blowing your eyes out. Yeah, and that's what you pay. Like Sam's got his own style and it's sick and it works for him, and then brands align with that, and that's how it works. And that's like goes back to emailing. Like you find like what's an example? Like if I was like some really deep emo photographer, Nike's not going to want to work with me. So like, be realistic about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like it sounds so bad, but you like, I don't know, like
there is a demand.
Yeah,
Again.
there's a demand for everything. Like find a sick kind of darker brand. Like what's a brand that's really sick? Like brand called Welcome Rivers. They're cool. They're really cool. They do like really like, I think it's an ex-surfers brand, but he's like really moody, like dark, black's filmy. That would work perfect with this guy. Like if you're gonna get like a really bright, bubbly photographer that shoots like, you know what I mean? Like that wouldn't obviously
align. Yeah, and that's cool. Again, it's free market based.
That's what it is.
It's literally like there is a demand for all different types of things and finding that place, which is promoting creativity. That does.
Some people like peanut butter, some people like jam, some people like PB&J. Like it's
and you can't get offended if like that's the biggest thing I found. Like at the beginning I was like, but like you can't be offended that like it has to work. Like it's a two-way street. And
that's when it's going to work the best. When you can understand that in your mind, that's when you're going to get the best results, because the jobs that you don't get, you just it leaves your head. You're not like caught up on it. You're not pity about it. It's just cool. Doesn't work out. And the jobs that you do get, you're like, damn, I'm really keen to work with this person. 100%. The vibe's there, and you create something beautiful.
Yeah, like if it works, it works. Like, yeah, 100. I rate that.
When you initially went into like photography and whatnot, I guess what you would call like professional, when you start doing work.
Hate that. Oh.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it because I knew you'd hate it. So like in that space, at least when you're doing work for other people, did you initially think it was going to be very people driven, or were you just
no? I thought you rock up, press a button, go.
Yeah.
No one notices.
That's so cool. I love that it's two worlds. Like this is life circumstances. Like you know, you had a bit of cafe experience, like, you know, talking to people, opening up, and then you start doing this photography thing, and they kind of blend together, and then it just takes you forward.
Like, yeah, if I hopefully in the future I can like, I'd love someone to work with me, and they need to work at a cafe, 100%. 100%. Or like a good, like retail. One of my best mates, she works in a cafe. I think she just left, and she's like, she can talk to anyone, and that I don't care like if she can't take a photo, she's coming to work with me, because you got to bring the. Like, even if you can make someone smile while I'm shooting, dude, worth whatever you want to get paid. Like,
job done.
100%. Yeah.
It seems so obvious, but I never actually thought of it like that. Being so.
I hate the word vibes, but it's all the vibes.
No, dude.
Do you find that you struggle with? You said you're really into weddings, and that sort of. No, is it the main focus you would say, or?
I don't know. I just want to be able to do everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I mean? Weddings and fashion top.
Yeah, so you're in that space, and a lot of weddings is just happy positivity. I'm sure there is a lot of stress and chaos in the environment, but do you find you're almost living that perfect life too much, that when you come back to your life, you're like, do you ever get depressed or a bit down from that?
Yeah, I get sad, definitely. Like you're seeing the happiest people in the world, and like I'm single, I don't have a partner. Like it's fucking tough. Like you're just watching these people so happy for 13 hours, and you just go to an empty bed at night. Like it is, but I'm not necessarily looking for anything at all. Like I'm pretty happy with where I am at the moment.
Which is good.
Yeah, I'm just working. I got it.
Do you fear that doing the weddings and doing enough of them and having that lonely feeling, do you feel that you would ever not lower your standards, but almost settle for something that this Kyle right now wouldn't settle for?
Nah.
That's good.
That's
I'm not like in terms of relationship. I'm not looking for anything. I just whatever happens, happens. And like, I'm content with everything at the moment. That's the word.
That's impressive that you can like sort of absorb that feeling and like push it back out. It doesn't really.
It's a healthy outlook because so many people want something so bad, and the longer they don't get that thing, the more they start to kind of like, oh well, I'll settle for this, or like, oh, I can look past this fact, and then before they know it, they're in a situation that 5 years ago they never would have settled for. They never would have taken.
Yeah, like I think like for a long, I was like lonely for a long time. Like COVID period, like it was tough. But I think it's all about your friends. Like I got the best friends in the world, and like you can get the emotional support that you would get from a partner, from your mates, 100%.
It's so important to have that space. Have you had that, like, since you came back to Australia and went into high school? Do you feel that you found those guys?
Yeah, year 7, that's it. Year 7's the biggest year, because that's where you find, like, my best mates now, year 7. Like Andy, I met him in year 7, he was in my homeroom, year 7 homeroom. Now he's like my best mate, we work together like every second day.
It's so impactful, like, because it's like that day 1 of year 7. Yeah, when you think about it, actually is really big.
That's why my parents are super big on like
high school here.
Like the friends you make in year 7, most likely, like year 7, like first day of high school, first day of uni. Like I got like cousins that like aren't too close to their high school friends, but their uni friends are like, like.
Because you're in such a vulnerable, raw state in year 7 for most people, going to this massive, overwhelming thing. For me, I couldn't grasp the concept of like timetables and different classes and periods. I was so confused, and everyone else there is in the same boat, and you're just looking for connection, you're looking for comfort in someone and something to latch onto. So when you find each other in that state, like what you can create there is so beautiful. It's so raw and unfiltered, and it makes sense why they're some of the strongest connections you have in life.
Your schoolmates are always people you can go back to, and like
they're going to be the ones doing your wedding speech in 20 years time. Like, doesn't it blow your mind? Like it's this, like if I didn't get put in that year 7 class, who would have known? Like I could be mates. I could be a totally different. I might even be taking photos. Like who knows?
And you'd probably be somewhere good, but it would just be like you wouldn't change who you are now for that person. Yeah.
It blows my mind still. Yeah.
I haven't really thought about it that much. Now I think, like, obviously you think about how important it is, but I'm more thinking specifically like the first week, like of high school. Like that's nuts how much that actually just.
Even like your friends, like, you know, like everyone says, like you are who you surround yourself with. Fucking facts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like I experience that now. Every day.
Like if, and like I'm fortunate to have all my friends are great, but I know people that, like their old friend group was just draining. Like I don't want to be around negativity every day. Like why would I want to like hear this bitching and shit? Like,
dude, 100%. I went through like an experience with that where I grew up with the same guy since I was like 3-4 years old, all the way till I was like 16, 17. And like these guys are all good guys. I'm not talking bad things about them, but it was just different lifestyle behaviors. I was 17, joined the gym, started going there pretty much 5-6 days a week, and they would like partake in other behaviors that I just wasn't for. And it gets to a point where I realize, okay, if they stay in these behaviors, I can start to predict where they're going to be in 10, 20, 30 years. I don't want to be in a place like that. 100%. I need to find someone whose behaviors reflect the lifestyle I want to live. So through working at Macca's, found this guy, and from there it's...
Do you guys meet at Macca's?
Yeah, dude. So we were 14. Again, coming back to like... No, Warriewood. Coming back to like the orientation of year 7 almost. We were on the same first shift together, the same orientation. So again, like you're in that vulnerable state. For him, it was his first job. So you're scared, and then boom, you just...
But you create a connection there, and it's like, look at what it's become.
You know, you guys got a potty together.
Like, isn't that just nuts? Like, but we've done, when me and Josh look back, like we've done so much shit together, and we're only 22. And it's just like, if we didn't meet at that orientation, or maybe I had something on that the day that I had my interview, so that meant that my orientation was later.
It all works out.
It all
it's
works
so,
out.
It is beautiful.
Because you're so grateful, because there's more that goes into it than just that as well. It's how he was raised, how I was raised was very similar, which created a strong value base, which allowed us to share that in the workplace of we both are hard workers, so we recognize that within each other. So it's almost like we were training for that friendship years before it happened.
For sure.
And then you're in it, and then it doubles down because you're both the same.
Because then it's like, dude, let's level up.
And you hold each other accountable. I reckon that's the biggest thing. That's,
The accountability, man.
And years of that. I think it's compounding on consistent accountability with each other, just like it leads to such great things. Like imagine what you can do in 10 years. Like we've known each other for what, how long? 7?
8 years,
Yeah.
give it another 8.
That's what I'm saying, double that. And like being adults, like being like, you know, you've got more knowledge in the bank, like taking that further. It's just that you can't even picture what.
More experiences.
I love that.
Yeah, it's going to be sick. And on the accountability thing, I'll tell you after the pod, but we have an accountability group that we do with our mates, and like based off what you're talking about with your mates, you should definitely start one up with them.
Like if you have a really good group of mates, like that are like, you know, you guys are pretty close knit and you like care about each other moving forward and stuff, you should take the model that we have. It sounds weird because you're just like, oh, it sounds very structured, like, you know, like an Alcoholics Anonymous, like, hi, I'm Kyle, hi, Kyle. It's not like that. Yeah.
Meet up once a month, and the issue I had, I was talking to some young people the other night, and I was saying how when you first meet someone, the conversation is quite often like getting to know them. It's a bit more deeper because you're like, you're finding out about their life. So the questions are like thought-provoking. And then once you establish the friendship, you kind of settle in, and it's just catching up, a lot of banter. And obviously when you need things and you want to talk about stuff, that platform's always there, but it's not often that we engage it and go to that level because you're just talking about life and living with each other. So I was doing this thing for Byron, and just had like 20 thought-provoking questions with people that had a good solid foundation of friendship, and they all found it really beneficial. And I really liked it because how often are you sitting down with your friends having like really intentional conversations and asking like a lot of thought-provoking questions? I think it's so beautiful, and this is really what the accountability thing is. It's very similar, where like when you're together, you're always just like banter, laughs, chit chats, whatever, talking about the future, which is healthy.
Yes.
That is a necessity.
Yes.
But it's super cool to, with those people that you have the beautiful, strong connection with, to have these really deep and intentful conversations, purposeful conversations. I think it's beautiful.
Because just the vulnerability that you can, like, you allow yourself to have with those people, and they know you in certain areas better than you know yourself.
Oh,
100%.
So, like, sometimes Josh may suggest something for me, or I can tell he's thinking something, or it's like, and I don't even know that myself, but he'll know it better than me.
yeah.
So it's that sort of stuff. It's just,
Like I got mates like my mate Andy. Like we go out for coffee some mornings, just talk. Like it's sometimes business chat, sometimes just like whatever, and it just mixes well. And then like he'll be like, dude, put your head in. I'm like, oh. And he's like, and then I'm like, dude, just pull your finger out, do something good, and like it works, and it like.
because you have investment.
Dude, 100%.
so
It's the best thing.
You can't buy it. You honestly cannot put a price on it, because the investment you have in other people's lives. It's like, how can you convince someone to do that unless they're friends? Like,
And it's friends in the same industry. That's what I think is the coolest thing.
How many friends do you have in the same industry?
I don't know. I got a couple. I don't know. Oh, it sounds like so cringe. Oh, he's a friend. Yeah, I'm so like I've got one group that's in the industry, one group that's not, and you get both sides.
Which is great.
You get everyone talking.
variety, man.
Like my friends that are tradies and chippies, they give me they tell me something about their business, and then I'm like, fuck, why don't I think of that? And then you can mush it around and use it for this bit, and then these guys here, like it's.
Because they would give you, sometimes the people not in it give you the best advice, because you're so far in it and they're looking from the outside, and they're like, oh.
There's been so many times I'm like, why did I not even think of that? Like even my dad, like he's a builder, and he gives me like things that he uses, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so.
I reckon it's the advice that I value the most, is the ones that are outside, because it's almost the ones that are inside your industry or whatever, your field. That's the advice you expect to receive. So you're ready for that advice, because you're expecting them to point certain things out to you, even though you don't know it, you're expecting it. But then, but if someone is just outside and points something random when you just least expect it, when you're hanging out or something, it's like, sometimes they're the brightest light bulbs, those moments. It's so great. Yeah, I feel some people can get stuck in that when they get too involved in their
You want someone to take a step back and look at it for what it is. Like if there's a business issue and you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this.
And like I have that with my parents. Like my parents, because they're like, think about their circumstance. They're invested in what I'm doing, so it's like they'll care and they'll put forward suggestions. Some of the time, like maybe 70% of the time, they're absolute dog shit. Because it's like, it's stuff that's out of context. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's out of context stuff, which makes sense. And they'll be like, oh yeah, that makes sense because I don't know how that works. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, that'll be out of context. And you don't take it for, oh, you're stupid. It's like, oh, you just don't get certain things. And you tell them something and it's like,
And you need to understand that so many people, again, they're just too quick to let their emotions control them, and they get really mad or upset with those people that just don't understand the context.
But they're so invested. So like, no, you need to do this. And it's like, yeah, okay, but you're forgetting about this, you know? And then, so there's that, but then there's the other 30% that are just, because they have no context, they give you these ideas that are just like, like I wasn't thinking about that.
And so many mind-blowing.
Yeah, there was like, my dad told me the other day to like to ask this person to come on the pod. And I was just like, I wouldn't have thought of that, but it's such an obvious thing that I should have asked. Like, I was like, why didn't I think about that? It makes so much sense. It's right in front of me, but he sees it because he has no context.
I'm trying to, dude, there's been so many moments like that for me. I'm just trying to think like, what's one?
So it was with, the one I'm talking about is with like, do you know who Ollie Davies is?
Yeah, the cricket player. He went to my primary school.
Yeah, cool.
I was in his kindy class.
Like, we'd play cricket against him, whatever. Anyway, so they're like local area guys, Manly. Yeah. Him and his brother Joel. So I was like, but we used to play cricket against them. Dad knows his dad. Watch him on TV, talk about him. It's like, why would I not try and get those guys on the pod? Like, they would probably come on more than likely, you know? So it's like, but I never thought of, like, didn't even enter my mind the thought. But Dad like put it forward. He's like, why haven't you gotten them on yet? And I was like, oh.
And it's refreshing. Like.
Yeah.
So good.
It's amazing. People neglect that influence. Like you said before, people get emotional. Like, you don't get it, get out. Like, don't ever give me advice. It's like, that's the most valuable advice, because there's 1,000 times they talk to you, but one of them is just so a nugget. It's a good gold nugget.
One of the best things about it is not only do you get like the immediate gain of having someone on the podcast, that's another episode, it's more knowledge, another conversation you get to have, but it's, wow, this person loves and cares for me and is so invested in what I'm doing that they're actually spending their own precious time thinking about who else could these people talk to? Like, how can I help them along their journey? And it just gives you such a like warm feeling of like, oh, I'm so grateful to have this person in my life.
Dare you to try and put a price tag on that. It's impossible.
It's like getting a mentor, dude. Like, that's why I tell everyone. Get a mentor.
Yeah, so you're obviously the two guys you work with in this space. Were they your first mentors? How did you come across them?
Just Insta, dude.
Yeah.
Nice.
Insta. Actually, I think I met Alex. So Alex is like, I'd never say it to his face, but he's like one of the best in Australia or whatever.
Wow.
Like, he's real good.
In terms of like, what does he do?
Like, he does a lot of surf stuff. Like, he used to travel with Ruka and WSL and all that stuff. Yeah, so he shot pipe and all that stuff, and I think he shot for Corona and all that stuff. And he does, like, he's real good at weddings. And then, like, dude, it's unbelievable how much you can suck it. Like, even if it's not knowledge, like, I remember when I first started shooting weddings, I didn't necessarily wanted to know how to shoot it. I wanted to know when not to shoot.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, when do I sit down and relax? Like, if it's a 13-hour wedding, like, I remember, yeah, dude, like, I remember the first wedding I shot solo, first wedding ever, I was just faking it. I was like, I was pretending I knew what I was going to do. And then everyone was eating, and then I was shooting like the details, I was shooting people talking and eating. And then I shot with Alex, and he goes, dude, fucking people don't want photos of shoving food in their mouth.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why didn't I fucking think of that? I was like,
I should be shoving food in my mouth.
Going to the face. Yeah.
I should be refueling.
Literally, and like, that's when I was like, oh my God. That stuff is like priceless, dude. And like delivering photos and how to deliver, and like it's all the small things, emailing, how to communicate with people. Like, I would love to be able to return that to someone else someday.
And you will. Like, it's inevitable that if you keep going on the path you're going on, someone is going to find you and you're going to be like, damn, I see a bit of myself in this kid and I want to help him. I want to help them get better.
And the role reverses.
Which, yeah. And it's cool as well, because had you not have had that, you probably would still be like shooting people eating food. Dude, because if no one told you not to do it, it becomes a habit for you because you kept doing it. So you think this is what you do, it becomes easy.
Like, you'd be like, I don't know if it was my dad, maybe, I might have even thought about it myself, I don't know. But I was like, if you're not the biggest person in the room, then you're in the fucking wrong room. Like why? Like then it's just an ego thing that you can look down on people. But like, if you're not the biggest person in the room, like if there's a world famous photographer, you'd be so silly not to want to suck all the info out. How does he do stuff? When does she do work? When do they do this? Like,
yeah, always want to be, like I always say, if you think you're standing at the top of a mountain, like you're on the wrong mountain. Go climb another one. Put yourself at the bottom in the valley.
Like there's always someone to learn of.
100%.
And you can get stuck in that, like, oh, I'm the best in this field. I mean, it's comfy.
It's so cringe to say, but like you can't always be comfortable.
You can't be.
It's so, I hate saying that, I hate being cringy, but like it's so true.
Because with like comfort comes complacency, and then there's no progression there. 100%. Absolutely none. And that's where, again, it comes back to your environment, your friends. Always be around people that keep challenging you. And if they're not, like, go put yourself somewhere else. Like for you being a photographer, like I follow you on Instagram, so like I know you travel around and you're in Europe and stuff doing shoots there. Like it's brilliant because you're gonna meet other people and learn off other people, and it's genius.
Yeah, and the way they do it there is so different here.
100%.
And then you get, like you're getting new ideas. That's what
and then you even find that you can teach your mentors, because the best thing a leader can do is remain a student. Yeah. So you go overseas, do something, come back, tell them, they're like, oh, I never knew that. And now they have that in their arsenal. And it builds that relationship, which is beautiful.
Because I started so young, I think being in professional environments and with other photographers and lighting and video, it didn't only show you like what I want to be, but also show me like what you don't want to be. Nice. I don't want to be that loser that's just chatting to everyone, like talking down. Because then, then if you're talking down to hair and makeup, they're not going to want to work with you again. Yeah. 100%. And then that's just one bridge you burn.
That hair and makeup person gets so good that they're now doing Hollywood weddings. Yeah. And you're like, damn, I would love to shoot like McConaughey's wedding. That'd be sick. But if you burn that bridge early on, you're never going to get that.
It's free to be a nice person.
Oh, dude, I love that line. Like, it is free to be a nice person.
This whole industry, I think everything is networking. Everything. It's literally who you know what you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like there is 100% better photographers than me, like, without a doubt. But
you just know some people.
Cool.
You're gonna get you more opportunity.
Do you know Chris Burkhardt?
Yeah, Sony guy.
Yeah, he's like, I'd love that man so much. And he's always said that. He's like, I don't think I'm a good photographer. Like there's so many better photographers than me. But I just like, I'm willing to put he always says, because a lot of his stuff is just crazy Arctic surfing. Yeah. And he's always said like, I might not be the best photographer, but I'm willing to like take whatever journey it takes to get to the location. I'm willing to put myself through whatever I need to put myself through to get the shot. And like that's why he is, because he's willing to sacrifice like the comforts, the luxuries, and choose to exist in a lot of discomfort to create what he creates, which in my opinion is like the best.
Respect it. Yeah. That's the way it is. Like
that's individual as well. Like, that's creativity or whatnot. Like that's him, like,
and he just shoots whatever he likes. Yeah. And that's when the best photos come.
Oh, 100%.
Just do whatever.
Because it's more about it. It's less about I was saying this to Emmanuel, who we had on the pod. It's like, when I was looking through like his stuff, it was just like, it's less about the photos you take. It's now more about you taking the photos. Like I care about, when I look at your portfolio, I look at the photo, go, that's a cool photo. That probably lasts for like half a second. And now I'm thinking, how do you take that photo? Like it's actually about this, like again, it sounds cliche, but it's true. Like it's the story behind the photo. It's the journey behind getting to that photo. Like that's where it's so interesting.
When I was in Vietnam, I took a photo of this mountain and I posted on Instagram. My caption was something along the lines of like here you see a beautiful mountain, but what you don't see is the 3-day motorbike journey that led to getting this shot, surrounded by 2 of my best mates and 3 other randoms from different countries, and the laughs we had along the way, the food we ate, like the journey that took place to get this photo. No one sees that. Like stop living, what was the closing line was something like, stop living someone else's dreams and like start living your own, or something cheesy about that. But I really liked what I wrote because it's so true. Like I got to a sick spot, snapped a photo of a dope ass mountain, but what was amazing was the journey. Like the whole ride, that's where it is. It's not scrolling on Instagram and seeing the cool shot of the mountain. And that's what I love with Chris Burkhardt stuff, because he's always out in nature, because it's like, oh, he didn't just drive there. There was some crazy story as to how he got there. Like,
100%.
what was that like? I want to know about that.
And if you're willing to do that crazy journey, then you'll get the photo and someone else won't get it.
Yeah, so like your shoots overseas, how do they come about?
Oh, I don't know, like, just got lucky, I think. I don't know. Like, like I shot a couple swimwear things in Italy, in Positano, which was super sick.
Was that like your first overseas trip for work?
Yes, so I went June last year. Well, I was going to say this year.
Yeah.
Last year.
As in 2020?
2022. I went from June to July. I met Andy and we went over.
Sick.
And we had a couple gigs, couple shoots, and then we just tied it together with like a nice boys trip, which is sick. So yeah, I shot a wedding over there with Alex. I shot a wedding in Italy. And then I shot jewelry in Venice, which was sick for a line.
Yeah, I saw those shots. They were sick.
It's cool. And then the swimmer in Positano, which is sick. But like, that was like overseas, but it wasn't like the wedding wasn't mine, and I wasn't happy. So then I started talking, and like another photographer friend of mine, his partner is a wedding planner in Europe, and then she hooked me up with a wedding. So I'm going back in May to shoot a wedding in Saint-Tropez.
Wow.
But that's my wedding, so it's like.
Is that bigger for you because obviously like that was your first international work trip, which is a massive milestone. Like that's huge. I'm sure you've been dreaming of that day for a long time.
It still blows me away.
Yeah, but then to have now coming up in May your own wedding overseas, that must be.
That's the coolest thing ever.
That's huge, dude.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing ever. But then there's like other photographers that they do it like literally every second month. And then, but like, and what are they hungry for? And then like it gets bigger.
It gets bigger and bigger, and again, it comes back to what we were talking about earlier of like you don't appreciate it when you're always in it. But something my friend says to me is like, what would 15-year-old Kyle think of this experience? Like when it becomes boring and the same, like what would, if you told 15-year-old Kyle, dude, you're going to go overseas and shoot like your own international wedding.
Sick.
Like how stoked would he be?
Like the careers advisor at my school is like, you can't take photos. You can't make a living off taking photos. And now it's like,
We're in this
I'm
weird
so
time.
against career, like so many career advisors, dude, they just tell you like what you can't
I
do,
rate the
what
idea
not to do.
of advising career,
but I totally get it. Like, be realistic.
Oh, it
Like,
makes
not
sense.
everyone's going to be a photographer
Yes.
and like.
but I like the idea of like career advisory. But I just think we're in a weird time where the ability to get a job or do something that you desire to do has rapidly just happened. Like, and now we can all do whatever we want and probably be financially viable off it, right? So I think it's just happened so quickly that like just things like education, and like we've got like what I think number 1 or 2 best secondary education in the world. So to think that like we're getting that and we're still like, oh shit, it's a bit behind the 8 ball, like. And you're not, like, there's other people who make money off photography and were probably told that they couldn't. So it's like,
Well, make triple what I make. Yeah.
and just to see that they said, like, you can't. And that's the person, think, you're at that age, anyone who's a role model telling you what to do outside of school, it's just such a void that you don't understand. You're just going to take that advice. So to receive that's just like.
See, that's what's tough because I think there's a select few and it takes a specific person to be told they can't do something by someone who they view as like a role model or view as greater than them, and to be like, no, I'm still gonna make it regardless of what you say. So many people take that and feel it and wear it and own it and believe it. And as soon as they believe that they can't do it, they're not going to do it. It's that line, if you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. And for you, clearly, you're just like, cool, like, thanks for that. I'm still going to make it.
Because I was like, yeah, fuck, maybe I can't take photos. But then I just did it.
Which is understandable. Like, think of where you are. Like I said, you're young. Someone who's supposed to provide, their job is literally to tell you what to do. Like, with your career. Of course, you're going to take that seriously. It's dangerous.
And that's where I think
It's heavy, eh? Yeah.
Almost the worst thing they can do is tell anyone they can't do it or you're not going to. Like, lay it out, make it realistic. Look, I don't know the field, but it's going to be a tough grind. It's going to be hard to do it, but you can if you want to.
Yeah.
If you're going to work harder than this person,
they have to, like, I think every careers advisor should close with that line. If you really want it, you can do it.
You just need to know that you need to want it.
Yeah, because it's going to be tough. You're not just like doing checkout at Coles. Like, you want to make this, it's going to be a tough go, but you can do it. And that's what I love, that it's down to the individual, because it's fair in that sense. We all have like the ability to go and do it. It's just whether we want it or not.
100%.
That's so great. I think the aspect of control, like we all forget we have so much control over what we choose to do and choose not to do. We're literally just talking about that today in terms of like, you know, like the example was just like eating and stuff, because we've got this endurance thing coming up that like in terms of different eating things. But like, yeah, just the fact that we deem so many things to be out of our control, but in reality, they are in control.
Everything is.
Like, but I have work on this time. It's like, yeah, you choose to work there though.
Yeah.
And we get so stuck in these things.
If someone like wanted to, they would.
It is that simple, and it truly is. It's, yes, the application can be harder, but it is that simple. If you want to do it, you're gonna do it.
Yeah, like you just get 1 hour less sleep, 2 hours less sleep.
What are you gonna, if there's, and it's crazy because
Yeah, what do you value more, the 2 hours or what you want?
when it's something that we need, we get it done. Like when it's survival based, we get it done. If it's like, dude, there's no food, you have to walk 50 Ks to get any food. Guess what? You're gonna walk 50 Ks. You're probably gonna run it and get it done. But if I'm like, oh, I want to go for a 50K run, no, why would I do that? That's such a grind.
I don't feel like it.
Yeah, I can't do that. Dude, you could. Gun to the head, you're gonna get it done.
It's just like who wants it better? Who wants it the most?
It's more I think it's the delayed gratification at times. It's like
I'm so guilty of that.
the stuff that you need to do to put you in that place where you want it. If you want it, the things that you need to do, for most of them, that the gratification you receive from doing those tasks is so delayed.
100%.
I think, but immediately you're losing 2 hours sleep and you don't see the benefit.
That, and it's the motivator. Like, is it the intrinsic or the extrinsic motivation? Are you like going after this goal to avoid some form of pain or to gain some form of pleasure externally? Like, oh, I want to be able to tell people I did this, I want this prize or this social status. Or is it, I want to see what I'm made of, I want to see how far I can push myself, I want to grow as a human.
I want to see like what's the best I can do.
Because that won't fade.
No, I haven't taken my best photo yet. No way.
And that can keep going.
You know what I mean?
That will keep fueling you, because that is a sustainable, long-lasting fuel source. It's hard to get that ignited though, because for people to intrinsically motivate themselves is tough. Like people, it's the ice bar thing, right? Going there when there's a bunch of guys, everyone's G'd up, it's quite easy to jump in because it's like, oh, these guys are going to think I'm tough. But when you're there by yourself, it's so much harder to get in.
Oh
and
my god!
100%.
I went for a run yesterday with one of my mates, and it was so much easier to run with someone else.
Oh, crazy, man.
It's like you're running together. Like if I'm lagging, then you know what I mean?
100%. Again, it's you avoiding like the pain, humiliation of falling behind, and want your desire to keep up with him. It's going to make you feel better about yourself. And
it goes back to like mates keeping each other accountable. That's what it is.
It fully does.
Speaking of that, where do you see yourself? Maybe like what's a medium to long-term goal for you?
I don't know. Maybe I'd be so happy if I could go to like Europe every June, July. I think that'd be sick.
So that's
work.
So a stable part of your work year
is
actually going to Europe.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. And I think it'd be so exciting to be able to like, I hate talking about money. I really don't like talking about money. But like, I think if you can buy a house doing what you love, then you're fucking cruising.
100%.
Like, I think that'd be really cool. Like if I could buy a house maybe, or put a deposit down or something. And yeah, go to Europe every year. That'd be kind of...
Well, this will be 2 years in a row for you.
Yeah, this is my second year in a row.
Dude, so
hopefully it lasts a bit longer.
But I think it's just like the connections you establish. It's just all it is. Reps, time, delayed gratification, right?
And it's more, like, think, you're there last year, first time, you met people. You're going to go back this year, meet even more people. Like, it's inevitable that, as you said, like, it's all about networking. You're going to meet more people. You're staying true to yourself by keeping your style authentic. That's going to resonate with people. Some people it won't, but those that it does, they're going to come for you and want you. It's like the snowball effect, and you're well and truly on your way.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude. And it is hard to see when you're doing it, but from what you're saying, and I think like just the way you like your baseline of like what it takes, I guess, is like it seems so right. And I feel like you believe it so much. It's like, of course you're gonna keep going. Yeah. Just the honesty behind you as well. I think your honesty is like admirable, man.
100%, and your humility. You're a very humble man.
Because I've worked with people and they're just so up themselves, and you're like, oh, Like, I just hate, like, when I'm young, I'd hate to be like that. Like, I don't want people to think I'm some, like, wanker. Because then it's, like, then no one's going to want to work with you.
And it's great that, as annoying as it is in the moment to work with those people, it's so good for you to be like, never be that guy. Never, ever,
It's good to be
ever.
around that when you're young.
Because you know when you become a mentor for someone, and it'll probably happen sooner than you think. Like, you're probably thinking, oh, once I'm 30, 40, had many years in the career, but it'll probably be earlier. You're probably going to meet someone.
Oh, fingers crossed.
Like, it's inevitable that those things happen. And I think when that happens, you're going to just maintain who you are, because you've been around the people you don't want to be. Like you said before, when do I not shoot at a wedding? That's what you wanted to learn first. So you're learning that in life. Like, what do I not do? Okay, cool. Now I can figure out what to do.
Yeah, like, because I'll myself and other people, you just do whatever I think's nice and cool and sick, I'll just do that. But that's it. Like, you still need to know, like, what. Like, I'm not saying you should put on a mask and be like, I'm the most humble person in the world, but, like, just be yourself and don't be an idiot.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Honesty seems to be something you use as an asset. Just like, if you're honest, man. If you're honest, you're probably going to be humble.
And then people will see that you're vulnerable, and then they'll be vulnerable, and then it works out well, and it's everyone's happy. You get cool photos and blah blah blah.
Control gives you control.
Did you ever think about doing video?
I did do video.
Oh, cool.
I used to shoot on a GoPro, like on family trips and all. That was on a GoPro, but I don't know. I like photos. I like photos. Video, I really wish I could do video. I've done a couple videos. Video's tough. Like, I respect videographers so much. Like, because I just have to worry about a moment and making it look good.
Like, honestly, it can be so much harder though, because you have to capture a tenth of a second, and that tenth of a second has to be it. But in a video, you can capture minutes, hours.
But then in video, you need to get audio as well.
I was going to say, there's more.
That kills me, dude. Like,
There's more elements, I guess. Like, it's more layers. But I think with yours, you don't have room for failure. Like,
at a wedding, you can't fuck up.
That's what I'm saying.
It happens. You get the first kiss once.
Dude, that's it. I think with video, you can get, well, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm just assuming it's like you can get away with more because you're multifaceted. Like, you could maybe, like, I don't know, but for you, it's like, if you don't get the shot, you just don't get the shot.
Yeah, shot's gone. You can't, hey guys, could you just kiss again?
Yeah, there's no room for error.
Yeah, there's not.
Yeah.
Do you like that pressure?
Yeah, because it.
Probably just keeps you on your toes, keeps you hungry.
It'd be rewarding too.
Yeah, because
when you get the shot.
That the coolest part of, like, I think, because have you ever done like those ID tests and personality tests? Have you done that before? I did one when I was like heaps younger, and like, without being like.
No, there's no ego in it.
Yeah, like I don't want to be like, I'm very much like, I like knowing what I've done. You know what I mean? It's so, the most rewarding thing is when like a bride and groom are happy, or like a brand stoked with the photos, and then it's like, I'm so stoked that I could do, without being like ego driven and like.
No, dude. The satisfaction.
No, you facilitated that. Well, no, you should.
And that keeps you hungry, like.
You should be confident in that, man. Like, you have a skill that if they had that skill, they wouldn't ask you to be there. Like, you have that skill that you're able to provide to them that they can't facilitate themselves. You facilitate them for them. It doesn't make you better or worse. It just means that you were that piece in the puzzle, and they've got the video guy, you know, and they've got the caterer. It's like, without the food, it'd probably be a shit time. You know, we need some food. So it's like they're that piece in the puzzle, but your piece is just like you're the perfect piece. Like, there's no cuts, there's no scratches on your piece. You're the perfect piece for what they need in the puzzle, which is.
And that's the coolest part.
It's dope, man. And brand-wise, like, what would be kind of the goal, or not the goal, but like, what are some ideal partnerships for you? You've mentioned Nike a lot. Have you worked with them? Or okay.
I don't know if I like, to be realistic, I don't think that my style of photos would be what Nike wants. And that's just like, unfortunately, that's the way it is. But
do you think that's just like at the moment? Like, they could potentially,
because they will evolve. Like, everything's evolving, so it's inevitable that they'll change.
They could go into food industry,
or maybe you even change your style, and maybe it comes.
Yeah, like my style would change 100%.
You could meet.
Yeah, I've been super into filmy photos. Like, I like grain. I like the crushed blacks. So I went shopping the other day, like, you know, General Pants. They had cool, like, kind of filmy photos. All I want, actually, success. I really want to like stand next to like a poster or something.
And be like,
and be like,
I reckon that'd be the coolest thing,
That's
dude.
another little,
I reckon that'd be so cool.
that would be rad.
Yeah. In like, I think it's so cool. Like, have you ever seen like really like wealthy people or successful people dress like a bum? I could be so sick, like socks and sandals, and you're like standing next to it. I reckon that'd be so.
The rich and then the richest. Like the rich, like full suit, like, you know, the suit game is high, like everything's all schmick, cufflinks, everything.
Clothes, whatever it is.
All the good stuff. The richest, white tee,
Blue jeans.
Baseball cap.
Yeah,
That's
my dad told me, he goes, money talks, wealth whispers.
Oh, no.
I like that.
Wait, what was the line?
Money talks, wealth whispers.
Oh,
And it's so, like, you don't have to, like, if you're really successful, you don't have to prove shit to anyone. You don't have to prove anything. Like, the loudest person in the room definitely isn't the most successful.
100%.
Because they don't have to speak for themselves. Someone
Yeah,
speaks for them.
that is the fucking sickest thing. When someone talks on your behalf, like, no one wants someone that's going to show off. But if someone shows off for you, then...
When someone shows up for you, that is earned. Like, that is earned.
What's beautiful is, like, it speaks to you not having corrupted yourself, staying a humble man. Like John Dunn, the artist I was telling you about before, when we met him, we had no idea who he was. And his friend was talking him up, like, don't you know him? He's this famous artist, done work for, like, the royal family.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like James Packer, like, crazy names. And he's sitting there opposite, like, his friend, boasting, pretty much, like, boasting about him. And he's just so humble, like, oh, like, nuts, I've done some work, and yeah, I'm an artist, but he was just so humble and so true. And he was at that point where he's so good that his friend's like, dude,
That guy has no idea what corruption is. Like, he doesn't even know what it means. Like, it's like,
How cool is that?
he doesn't give, he does not care for anything. He's such a simple man.
all he wants to do is paint. And it comes back to all he cares about is just focusing on his craft.
Truly, all he talks about and does. Like, we were asking him questions about certain things. He goes, I don't know.
Like, trying to, like, find out deeper, like, what is the reason? And he's like, I love to paint, and for me, that's all I need.
Just do what you reckon's cool.
Yeah, man. That's literally...
Do what I'm passionate about, and if other people like it, then it's a bonus.
He's so sick. He's such a beautiful man.
How cool is that?
Just simplistic.
So inspirational, because he said, like, and he could have sold out and made a lot of money and being in these galleries and changed his style, but he wouldn't have been happy because he wouldn't have been painting what he wants to paint. So sick that he's just... he's such a big, like, encouragement for me.
So cool. Do you know Dylan Reader? Do you know Dylan Reader? There's like a skateboarder that's really famous because he wouldn't sell out. Like, because he's like a really good-looking guy that's like a pro skateboarder. He's the reason everyone cuffs their pants. Like, he did it first. And like everyone at the time like dogging him. But then, like, yeah, he didn't sell. Like, he had contracts with brands and stuff to, like, get hundreds of thousands of dollars, and he said no because he didn't like the quality of the t-shirt. Like, how cool is that? Or like he did, I think he did a shoot for Vogue magazine, and he was with ASAP Rocky and Cara Delevingne. And then the photographer's like, jump for the camera, and he's like, I'm not fucking jumping. Like, I'm not your monkey. Like, why would I, like, that's, yeah, and that's sick. I reckon that's the coolest thing. Like, do whatever you, like,
It's more like confidence. I think it just breeds a lot.
It's like, that's like Kurt Cobain and Dylan Reed. They're like,
How do you take that, like...
And Dave Chappelle, like, you know, Dave Chappelle got the $1 million, he said no. Sick. So sick.
Like, being a photographer, and obviously, like, there is an element to getting the shot, and I'm sure, like, when you shoot models and stuff, you instruct them to, like, change certain angles and stuff. How do you think you would take that if you told them to jump and they didn't jump?
I would never ask someone to do that.
Yeah.
You do whatever you're comfortable with.
Sick.
Yeah, if you want to get this photo, let's do it. If not...
So you're more like, it's more, you have an idea and you take it to them like, I think this could be cool, what do you think about it, versus do this.
Yeah, like, you make a scene. Like, I forgot who the photographer was, but he said he just, like, if he's in a car and, like, he'll just be sitting here and he'll just let everyone, like, if it's for, like, Levi jeans or something, everyone's in Levi's and there's a hat, just let them do whatever they want and wait 10 minutes. Everyone's comfortable, then just snap some shots.
Yeah.
Sick. Like, yeah, I'm not here to, like, make someone, like, it's just shit. Yeah.
That's so cool.
I think that's cool. Yeah, and, like, you learn that from people when you work with them.
I think I've seen that in practice through Savi, like through Sam, like when we were doing the drive. Like, he was so, like, at times he would be like, just hang out, like, don't worry about me.
Yeah,
I'm just not here. Like,
Yeah, and that makes sense. I guess I was
facilitating that environment. He was
Just you guys get comfortable, and once you're comfortable, then I'll just.
Yeah, and because it's the same nature, and like you give off that similar vibe of just
Sam's great to work with.
In the shadows, in the shadows, like don't worry about me.
That's what you want though, like. And
you want to forget that the camera's there.
I couldn't imagine what it would be like with someone up in your shit.
Like imagine getting married and the photos that represent the day. Like, that's what I always think. Like, I want to show what happened on the day through still photos in 20 years.
Yeah, you want like them to be able to look back, instantly remember, and you want somebody else to look at the photos and feel the same emotion.
Yeah, no one wants a school photo for their wedding photo. Like,
no one wants a school photo for their school photos.
Yeah.
Like,
like you look at your school photo and instantly I just think back to like waiting in a line, being told to like have my hands on my knees touching. Like none of that represents.
You sat down. Are you like a short kid?
Yeah, always.
Really?
Yeah, I was always on the bench, dude.
I was at the back, baby. You know when they're like at the tallest?
I was always at the front, little short asses, eh?
Shame. So you guys had to do the never done that in my life.
Did the footy photo?
Yeah. It's like
You look at those photos and that doesn't remind me of how I felt in year 8 and what the laughs I had. Like what does that for me is looking at my old footy jersey or seeing a photo of me with my mates like in the mud. Like that's what it is.
You getting your hair caught on fire.
Yeah, literally.
Shit like that.
It's like none of the stage stuff. But yeah, that's cool because with the documentary, it made sense to me that it would be raw and Sam's just kind of like there, but I didn't really think about it with like the model side and I guess what you do. I always thought that would be like a very purposefully staged, look here, do this, do that, but it's beautiful to know that you're approaching
Just get them to be comfortable.
a genuine way.
It's like with models, like if someone's in a bikini, just be comfortable.
It's such a vulnerable state, man.
Dude, and I would be so upset if someone wasn't comfortable with me. Like I think that's the biggest thing for me. Like
That's great. That's number one.
number one. And like I remember another photographer I was talking to was like, if my favorite photo from the whole photo shoot, I think it's amazing, but the model's not comfortable, you can't post it. You can't post it. Like who am I to be so selfish and post a photo that she doesn't like?
100%.
And like I swear there's people that would just fucking spray that
Post
shit,
it, yeah.
put on a billboard because
Which
they're
is so sad.
no way, and then that's how you lose friends, and that's how no one's gonna want to work with you. And
It
like
comes-
Carl's gonna post this photo of you and you're like not happy with, like who wants
Exactly. And it comes back to the motive. Like for those guys, clearly it's just money. It's greed, but for you, it's more than that.
Oh yeah, it's sick. Having friends in the industry is cool.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
dope.
You can do it for longer, right?
Yeah, do it forever. Like if your photos change with the industry and people, you remain relevant. Yeah, you'll be tired.
Yeah, I love as well, like a lot of people we've spoken to now when we ask them about kind of the goals, what would be a cool thing for them. So many people explaining like a scene rather than like a really specific like number or metric. For you, it's being able to have a big poster of a photo you've taken and point at it wearing like homeless type vibes. And I think it's such a cool thing because there's so many variables. If you said work for Nike, like then you start to get fixated and then you'll probably start to corrupt yourself because you need to change to fit their style and things like that. But for you to just have that, it's like, okay, I just need to keep doing what I'm doing. I'll level up. And then someone puts a photo on a billboard or a poster and there I am. And I think it's so genuine. I think it's great to set goals that are much more open-ended where you can still keep like true to yourself 100%. To achieve them.
Like there's been times where like something like that I'm quite proud of happens and just happens and it happens and you can't force it. Like as soon as you force it, then it's shit.
I'm so keen to see that photo. Like that you are inevitably going to post.
If I do, I'll let you guys know.
I got lost in what I'd probably missed half of what you just said because I was thinking about like shit, like I've bookmarked that in my brain. So now when I see you, like I'm just gonna hit you up and be like, bro, you did it.
Gonna cry. Like,
Yeah, like
it's
Dude, I'll cry.
Yeah.
dude, imagine you're just like the biggest of big, like in Times Square, and there's just like a billboard.
You're like this.
It'd be fucking sick, eh?
Oh, I actually have
It's
chills
nuts.
thinking about that.
It's so cool.
Dude.
So cool.
Yeah, well, I gave you a bit of a preempt as to
Yeah,
how the
the
pod.
Oh yeah, so
Challenge time.
I'm so guilty of drinking so much coffee, and I feel like it's in my veins.
Yes.
So I reckon, how long is it, a week?
Yeah.
Just go a week no coffee. If you,
Done.
Try that.
Done.
And because I watched a podcast and the guy said he didn't have coffee for like a couple months, and his first sip, you could feel it, like, yeah.
We're around this at the moment with both of us, sort of just going back and forth with coffee and stuff, like using it as a tool rather than just like being a slave to it. And actually having that in your back pocket as an arsenal.
100%.
I cashed that check in this morning because usually it's like 90 minutes before I have a coffee. Most mornings I will have one, but
let yourself be tired. I saw that podcast, I forgot who it was. Let yourself be tired and then have the coffee, and then you won't have the massive crash in the arvo.
After a fast that I recently did, I'd pretty much had, I think, 9 days without one. But in saying that, you don't just do 9 days or a month once and then not do it again. It's like, it's good to just keep.
Because like with the ice bar, like I was like, fuck it, I don't know, ice bar. But then you feel good after, so fingers crossed you feel it.
It's reps, dude. It's consistency. So doing that week again is like, it's important.
And it's like doing the ice bath. You can say you've done an ice bath, but can you still say it if you don't do one for another year or 6 months? And you're like, oh, I did an ice bath once, that was sick. But did you really? Like, dude, that was 6 months ago. Like, where you at? Keep coming.
I slipped that the other day with like the half Ironman. Someone said something and I was like, yeah, I've done that. But it was more like, I had to like, in myself, I had to tell them, I was like, yeah, but that was
a year and a half
so long ago. Like if I went, I could never do that now. I'd have to retrain myself to go and do that. It's like, that's not me now. That is past me. I couldn't say that's me now. You know what I mean? It's like, yes, I could say that. And even like my like last endurance thing was in September. So it's like even saying that now, I couldn't go out and do it.
It's saying I have done versus I do. Like people, I do triathlons. No, you don't. You did one, or you did a lot of them, but not anymore, dude. Like that has to be the mindset and the framing, because when it comes up in conversation, it's so easy to say, oh, I do that, because it peps you up a little. It makes you feel better about yourself.
We naturally do that too. It's like you want to go like that little bit.
The humbling experience is like, oh, I did one, but I haven't in 2 years. Damn, I need to pick up my game.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, don't let yourself say, I used to do ice baths. Keep it at I do, dude. Hell yeah, man.
Bro, yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, boys. Thank you very much.
I appreciate your time, man. Appreciate your time.
People want to listen to it, I don't know. Fingers crossed people care.
Who do you want to see?